Good afternoon and Happy New Year's. Welcome to Intiva's Lunch and Learn for January 2024. Before we get started, I really want to give a warm thank you to everyone that joined the webinar series we had in 2023. I hope you found it insightful and worth your time learning about more stuff within the Microsoft ecosystem. And I'm looking forward to all the webinars we have planned here for 2024. Now, moving forward, today we're going to be talking about what actually came out in 2023 that you might not be aware of. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started. So as I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about the new features that have come out in Microsoft ecosystem in 2023. We're going to be covering items such as Microsoft Clipchamp, Microsoft Loop, the new Microsoft Teams app, and I'd be remiss not to talk about the Microsoft 365 Copilot that got launched out in November. Again, more into the enterprise space, but it is something that was launched out there. Won't go into a lot of detail on this. I did cover it in great detail on my November webinar, and I'm going to cover other potential changes coming up here in February exclusively within the Microsoft 365 Copilot solution. So getting started, let's go ahead and talk about Microsoft Clipchamp. So Microsoft Clipchamp is a new video editing tool that has been released into the Microsoft system in 2023. It is a powerful tool that allows you to create professional looking videos with ease. With Clipchamp, you can create and share interactive collaborative videos with your team. Clipchamp has been a natural fit for Microsoft 365 system and its customers. It adds in the video creation to the suite of productivity tools people use to unlock their creativity. It has a user interface that's accessed through the web browser, making it easy for anyone to confidently create professional-looking videos with no prior experiences. Clipchamp is being integrated into various experiences across Microsoft 365, so it's simple to use the videos without leaving your workflow. Thanks to the in-browser video editor, you can go ahead and go right from Microsoft 365, click on the new Clipchamp video, go into OneDrive, or edit an existing video from OneDrive directly. With Clipchamp empowers anyone to create high quality videos that you can be proud of, whether you need to explain a process to your teammates, potentially onboard new users, send updates to your clients, or level up your organization's newsletters. Now with Clipchamp, you can turn and deliver impactful video messaging to all of your team members. And a couple of the key features I think that are worth mentioning with Clipchamp is you have the ability to do all the core editing tools you typically see in any type of video editing tools, such as trim, crop, and speed control, all built right into the platform. It has an easy little time editor, which I'll actually do a little demonstration so you can see how it works. You can kind of flow back and forth and add different layers to your video if necessary. You also have the ability to record directly from a webcam or screen. So you can actually do like really good, quick how-to videos for your team for processes right from your screen, show how to do something, maybe put some verbal edits on top of it, even put in some text into it if necessary right in the platform itself. It does have a high quality video resolution, so you can get to the 1080p on the standard level license. You even have an ability to update to 4K if necessary for the premium license. It does have some free audio, image, and video stock you can add to your videos, as well as some filters and effects you can put directly into it. Now, the neat part about this is there's really no extra cost to a lot of people utilizing Microsoft tool sets today. So if you're utilizing Microsoft 365 Business Standard, Microsoft Business Premium, Microsoft 365 E3, or Microsoft E5, it is included in those licensing type for the Microsoft Clipchamp standard license. Now, if you're utilizing Office 365 E3 or Office 365 E5, you do have to pay the $3 to add in the standard license per user. And I'm starting to see that as a little kind of something that Microsoft's doing more often. A lot of these new releases for these additional applications, they're only being launched into the Microsoft 365 platform, not the Office 365 platform. So something to keep an eye on in the future. If you're looking at potentially changing licensing type, more things are being added into the Microsoft 365 E3 license set than the old Office 365 license set. So now that I kind of covered a little bit of this, let me show you how it looks in practice so you can see how easy it is to build something. So let me go ahead and go over to my test platform here. So if you joined in my webinars in the previous years, I always have this platform used called Tomorrow's From Today. This is my test platform within Microsoft 365. So this is the home platform for 365. This is where you can get to all your links really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and click on apps here. If you're ever curious about what apps you have within 365 license, come to apps, click on all apps, and it shows you all the applications you have available to you to play with. kind of nice if you're not really familiar with some of these different applications you might not use on a daily basis, like Word, Excel, use all the time. But if you want to get into your insights, your Power Apps, such things like that. But for today's purposes, we're going to get into Clipchamp. So I'm going to type in Clipchamp right here, click on the button, and it will open up my Clipchamp portal. I'm going to go ahead and click on blank video and show how easy it is to create a really quick test demo video here. So this is the platform. You can see here, this is where the video will show up. On my left side, I have different options of creating a new video, bringing some text. I can import some new media here as well. So if, say, if I want to put my logo at the start of the video, I can do something like that. But for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to go ahead and click on record and create and click on my screen and camera. And we're going to go ahead and record the screen. No need to have a dual set of me on the screen here. I'm going to hit select screen to record. And it gives you different options. Maybe I want to select a certain tab and with my within Chrome, or maybe a certain window. Maybe I want to do my presentation I want here to kind of go through the video. I'm going to go ahead and do the entire screen. I'm going to choose my screen one, hit share. So it's giving me kind of a 1, 2, 3, go button. So now my video is recording. I can see here at the top of my screen, it's got this little icon here showing it is in record method. So now I can go ahead and say what I want to do. So for this purpose here, I'm going to show how to open Clipchamp. So this is a recording on how to actually open up Clipchamp if I'm going to put this out to my organization. So you want to start off in your Microsoft 365 platform, click on apps, click on the search button here, type in Clipchamp, and click on Clipchamp here, and it opens up to your portal to create a new video. So that could be, a how-to video you're putting out there, a how-to process with your organization. You can customize it, of course, however you need. So I'm going to come back into the video itself. I'm going to hit stop recording. And now it's going to do a playback here of everything that's happened. No need to listen to my voice, but you can see here, this is the video that I just recorded within the system here. Looks good right here, or I can click retake training. I'm going to save and exit. Now it brings in that video straight into a little time editor here. So like as I mentioned here, you can bring in different slices and segments. Maybe I want to go ahead and do another video of a different aspect of the process I'm trying to show, and then add it into this actual overall video recording that I want to share to my organization. On the left-hand side, I can customize certain aspects of it. Maybe I want to put a little bit of a music background to give it a little more when people are listening to it. So I can go ahead and add in some music, add the timeline. And you can see here, it adds it directly into the timeline. So this will be playing the background if people listen to it. I can create maybe a text message that I want to put over it. I can hit the add button here, add your text. Let's see here. Welcome to Intiva. Of course, put whatever you want. On the right-hand side, you can give different, fonts, bold, whatever style you want. Maybe I want this to fade in or fade out during the process. But I can go ahead and see here, I have this now, welcome to Intiva. So maybe I want to drag this over to the beginning of the whole system. I can drag this over. I got a long timeline. Drag this over. And go ahead and pop this in, but I want to overlay it onto the video itself. So now I can bring down here, welcome to Intiva, and that will show over the actual recording. So I can see it's playing, it's doing my talking here. Welcome to Intiva and Peers. And again, this is kind of showing you how easy it is to put things in here. I don't have any video edit experience, but with a couple click tricks of a button here, I have now a operational video I can put out to my team of how to open up Clipchamp. Again, pretty basic demonstration, but at a big level, you can actually do this for a lot of your process here. Make a quick little easy video, share it out to your team through Teams, through your Teams channel, whatever you need. And now people have a functional video to work from for how to do something within your organization. So I do find this pretty handy to use, pretty easy to test out. But definitely welcome to you guys to jump into your Microsoft ecosystem and give it a shot. So now that covers Clipchamp. Now, the next piece that was launched out in Microsoft ecosystem in 2023 was Microsoft Loop. Now, Microsoft Loop, it took me a second to kind of get my head around how you might want to utilize this. But what this is it's a collaborative app that enables you to create and share and interact together with documents in your team. Sounds a little bit similar to Teams. Is it a SharePoint site, this, that, and the next, but it has a little bit more to it in the back end, which I'll definitely show you in a demonstration. Now, with Loop, you can kind of think, plan, and create together with your team. Now, there's multiple components that make up this Microsoft Loop. Now, first you have the loop component itself, and these are portable pieces of content that stay in sync across all the places they're being shared. Now, these components allow you to collaborate in the workflow that you're working in. This could be in chat, email, meetings, or documents. And these can be types of things like such as lists, tables, notes, and more. And you're always working with the latest information in your preferred apps like Microsoft Teams, Outlook, Word, and Whiteboard. And they're all included in the Microsoft Loop app itself and all integrated and up to date together. Now, once you get past the componentries of this, you get into the Loop pages. Now, these are flexible canvases with a Loop app where you can bring together people and all the components I mentioned before, like the links, tasks, and data. The Loop pages start small and continue to grow to match the size of your ideas. And Loop pages can be shared across all the Microsoft 365 apps and links or embedded into Loop components. Now, after that, you have the bigger spot is like where this all lives, and that is the Loop workspaces. Now, these are shared spaces that allow you and your team to see and group everything important together on your projects, making it an easy place to catch up on what everyone's working on and track the progress to shared goals. So let me jump into the loop so you can kind of see it for yourself. So let me jump back over to my demo site here. Close these. Just like I did for clip training or Clipchamp, I'm going to go ahead in here and search, type in loop, and click on loop. It'll bring me into my workspaces. So these are the workspaces. These are the functional places people want to put their ideas or who they're going to be working with. Almost think of these like team groups per se. So I'm going to go ahead and click add, create a new work group. I'm going to call this a lunch demo. Hit create. So now with this lunch demo, I have this workspace where certain things can happen. But let's go ahead and make sure people have access to this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my members of who to access it. You can see one workspace member. I'm as the admin here, so I'm going to put this over to my demo 1 account and invite that person to this workplace. So now they have a place to get into this for whatever I put in here as administrator. This member has the option to share, edit, collaborate within this document itself. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new page. When you click add a new page, you have different template galleries you can work on as far as what you want to do. Now, you can go ahead and do a blank page if you want to start from scratch, but I do recommend jumping in here to the templates to kind of get your brain thinking of how you might use Loop within your organization. So I like the idea of taking first a look at one-on-one meetings. So a lot of us do have either direct reports or maybe the reporting, of course, up to another to their manager and have a centralized place to actually keep all these meeting information in one location. Now, people might use OneNote or do some other shared mechanism to share this information, but might recommend taking a look at Loop to see if it makes sense for you. So you can see here, now I have this Loop meeting. Now I can have multiple meetings here. You can see I can add another page and have this be another Loop meeting. Go ahead and put in here, Loop meeting, one-on-one meeting, use this template. And you can change the name, one-on-one meeting, put, for January, employee XYZ. Now it has different things in here, just in the template itself. You have your meeting date. So I can go ahead and click here. Now the neat part about it is if you put in here on this little button, gives you option to actually create Loop components, or you can go ahead and hit the slash button. It gives you ideas of what you can put in here. You can put headings, different styles, put a table if you want to here, put a date. So I like to put a date, of course, for this, say January 11th. Meeting time, if you want to put the time in there, or come in here down to what the agenda item is. Discuss ongoing issues. And put the time here, put the content. Now, the best part about this is you don't have to be sharing this directly from one screen. You both can be working off of your own computer and then taking a look at this information that's being populated within this discussion right here. And it will always be up to date for the next one. Come in here. Then you have your new notes. Go back in here, some key feedbacks, and go from here. So I'll put test, test, test. And that way it keeps the one-on-one tracker. Now, the other piece I like about Loop is it has synchronization into other aspects of Microsoft 365. So let's go ahead and create another one, new page. Come down into template gallery. Let's go ahead and maybe do a project plan. Let's go ahead and use this template. Let's see here, new roles, work areas, owner, status, end date. So let's go ahead and create some milestones. test for rollout, demo 1, status in process, and put a end date right here. And you have in here reflections. So you can really kind of put together like an overall process of what the progress is going directly from here. What's the goals, the priorities? You have different other ideas in here as well. Let's go ahead into project brief, meeting notes, team decisions. I think meeting notes kind of neat as well. You can hear tasks from meetings. So how many times you've been in a meeting where they have different tasks going on and you're having to write down the task itself that's being assigned to you. So you can come in here, maybe if you're working together, this is task 1, 2, 3, put the assigned name, demo 1 will be the task on this one. We want to have the due date be August. That would be far time out there. Let's go ahead and put it in January 25th and save. Now, as I mentioned, this is all syncing up to the system. So this is the administrator working on it. So what I want to jump into now is the demo 1. So I jumped into another site here. You can see here, this is my demo 1 account. This is the Office 365 portal. I'm going to come into Outlook and open up Outlook. And you can see here, you've been looped in. So now I am now been looped into this workspace. This is the one that the administrator created. I'm going to hit join workspace. Get started, sign in. And once it's signed in here, you can see I'm directly into that lunch demo we saw. Here's all the different types of test meeting notes we put in here, componentries of loop itself, the loop pages. And I can see in here the different aspects of that that's been signed, the task 1, 2, 3 to demo 1 on the 25th of this month. Now, what I like as well is I can now come into my mail, click on my tasks I have in here, and we'll see here shortly, this is now had it been added to a task assigned to me. I now have my tasks that have been added to me right within the system itself. So it kind of all syncs together where it actually plays together. So if you have different tasks being accorded to different people, they can get done at a certain time. You kind of follow how that's happening. Now, I don't know if people are doing some overall management level type of training where you have these large groups of people that have open issues, potentially have different things that need to be accomplished within a certain period of time, maybe potentially working out like an Excel sheet or something along those lines. This can be looked at to putting into Microsoft Loop. So everyone has it available to when they're on the call to jump into it, add their information there, and then it's actually putting the tasks they need to get done or correlating to other Microsoft applications all within your system. So nothing potentially get lost, forgotten. You won't have that person who goes, I forgot to do that. And I didn't update my sheet because it was on an Excel sheet and nothing was integrated. So I do think there's a lot of value in the loop once you get in there and play with it and start small, and then kind of broaden from there. And I do think starting off with maybe your one-on-one report type meetings might be a good place to start within the Microsoft Loop system itself. So that gets into the Microsoft Loop. After that, we have the Microsoft new Teams app. Now, Microsoft Teams, of course, has been out for a while, but the Microsoft Team application went through I would say, a major overhaul in 2023. They introduced a new app that was built on the foundation of speed and performance, flexibility, and intelligence. The new Team app is designed to deliver up to 2 times faster performance while using 50% less memory. So you can save time and collaborate more efficiently. Now, a lot of people might not have been familiar with how much resources in the back end would be taken up because of your team application, but it was pretty significant, especially if you're utilizing this in any type of remote desktop or Azure Virtual Desktop. It was a pretty heavy application. Now they've done a really great job of kind of simplifying it and making it more powerful and make sure that it has a lot less resources being taken up. They also put into a little bit more efficiency as far as, like, I'd say, a simpler user experience. Now the new Team app is simpler and easier to use and find everything in one place. And I kind of show you this in a second if you haven't actually switched over to it. It's designed to reduce the context switching and allow you to collaborate with apps that are embedded directly into the Teams and integrated components such as the meeting chats and be right in the interface of other applications. As I mentioned as well, that has fast performance. It has a 50% less memory and allow you to save more time and collaborate more effectively. It also has collaborative applications. Now, the collaborative apps can be embedded directly into Teams or integrate components of Teams such as meetings and chats right into the interface of other applications. And lastly, you have the ability to install Teams on a wide variety of componentries now as well. You have the desktop app, the mobile desktops, including the Windows, Macs, iOS, and Android. So if you haven't tried the new Teams application, I recommend checking it out. I'm going to go and bring up my Teams here. Now, this is my Teams directly. So if you open up Teams, you have the same thing on the left-hand side. You have your Teams, your chat, your calendar. But one thing you'll see in here now, it has the OneDrive that's put in here. Now, with the OneDrive added, adds a lot more flexibility and information right at my fingertips. So I no longer really have to go to that home drive that I was kind of showing before. It looks almost similar to itself. What I like about this is Microsoft Teams has done a great job, or Microsoft has done a great job, allow you to share information really easily and readily through all the different shared links you can have. The problem is, I think for me, is understanding where those live and how I can access to them when I want to have access to them. So with the OneDrive here, I can easily see all the files shared to me, maybe by person. Or potentially I was in a meeting I had that has a link in there that I need access to. So I have a really good way of coming into this one location, finding the file that's important to me and being able to work on it from one location itself and stay within the Teams app that I'm already working in all the time for my Teams chats and my OneDrive location, as well as all my team group location where I have all my files. So definitely recommend checking it out and giving it a try uploading it. I do know that there was some technical issues early on with the Teams that seem to crash a little bit more often. I always heard that new Teams issue, but more often than not, it's been a lot more stable as of late. I have enjoyed working on it a lot and definitely think it's a lot more faster than before. And as I mentioned at the opening part of this, is kind of be hard to talk about new offerings without talking about Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole details of exactly what it is, but just in case you missed my other webinars or haven't been reading a lot of the news, the Microsoft 365 Copilot is an AI assistant at work. It builds on the Bing Chat Enterprise, which is now called just Microsoft, which is called Microsoft Copilot, but it's in a class of its own. It includes enterprise-grade security, privacy, and compliance, as in responsible AI to ensure all the data processing happens inside your Microsoft 365 tenant, using the technology Microsoft 365 customers have relied on for years. With the integration into your application you use on a daily basis, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, and more, Copilot will comb across your entire universe of data, all your emails, all your meetings, all your chats, your documents, plus much more, and scour the web to help solve the most complex problems at work. So it puts all the power of the AI into the data you build up for years right into the palm of your hand to be able to get information from, hey, summarize this meeting, summarize this email forward that's been put up to me so I can know how to read through hundreds of emails to find out what actions need to take place. Now, this has not been, I would say, fully released to the commercial, to all commercials. This was put out to more into the enterprise level in the November time period, and it had a pretty hefty price point. To utilize this right now, you actually have to inquire to Microsoft to get the ability to access it. You also have to purchase 300 licenses of Microsoft Copilot at the cost of $30 per license. This also does require you to have Microsoft 365 E3 and Microsoft 365 E5, and you have to have 300 of those. So really to take full utilize of it right now is going to cost you around $20,000 a month. Now, moving forward, I do expect this to have some sort of launch here in the early stages of 2024 and potentially in Q1. I do have a lunch and learn that's going to come up next month that will have a lot more information as we learn more about it over the next couple of weeks before we put this out. And I do think we'll potentially have a launch date that we want to set within there. That Microsoft will set. They'll go ahead and inform you about when that will be, as well as what the pricing will look. Now, as far as what I know, what we've heard, the ability to utilize Copilot will come down. You don't have to actually have the Microsoft 365 E3 or E5. You can actually use this with Microsoft Business Standard, as well as Microsoft Business Premium. And there's a benefit to utilizing Microsoft Business Premium over Business Standard. It comes into the governance of your data itself. Now, Microsoft Business Premium, as well as the other Microsoft 365 E3 and E5, have a Microsoft Azure information protection, our purview, which allows you to do a lot more functionality as far as who can see what systems within their SharePoint. And that's important as you want to have AI scour your information on your SharePoint team or SharePoint site within your organization. you want to make sure that certain individuals should only see certain information. So maybe not everyone wants to have should have access to see salaries or anything along those lines. So if someone types in salaries, it doesn't pull up everything that was in the organization. Should be only what that person should have the capability of seeing. And if you do have a Microsoft Business Standard license, that type of governance, it would not be available. Now, the price point I do see is going to be the same price point we saw before. It's going to be $30 per user. I have not heard any confirmation if it's going to have a minimum level of commitment, monthly or annual, or a minimum monthly spend of like how many quantity. Is it going to be 300? Is it going to be 10? Don't know yet. I do have to imagine that Microsoft will have some sort of ability to limit how many people are accessing this right off the bat, because it does take a lot of horsepower in the back end of Microsoft. So I don't think they want to have thousands and thousands, 100,000 people enabling this right off the get-go, or probably crash the system. So they probably have some way to kind of shrink down how people are adopting it immediately. But I do think it will be released out in some capacity to the commercial space here in the early stages Q1. So I'm really curious to see what comes about that, and that will be more in my announcements on our next webinar itself. So that brings us to the conclusion today. I hope you found this valuable with some potential applications you might not be aware of that you probably already have access within your license set today. Microsoft Loop, Microsoft Clipchamp. Hope you give it a try, see if it works for you within your organization, as well as try out that new Microsoft Teams app. It definitely has a great ability to keep everything in one location. Love having that OneDrive icon in there to find your files quickly, and I find it very easy to use. So thanks for your time. I look forward to talking with you in February. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.